Hello everyone, this is Sharon here from 24/7 Techie, and in this video we will be comparing the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, the LeEco LE2, the Lenovo K6 Note and the MoTo G4 Plus. This is the best phone under 15,000 Indian rupees, and this could be the final comparison for the best phone under 15,000 rupees for the year 2016. Just a reminder to everyone to please hit that subscribe button and also the notification, and subscribe over here in the desktop and in the computer screen. How it should be done, it is being portrayed in front of you. Please do hit that subscribe button. So first of all, we'll have a look at the specifications of the phones. So starting with Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, we have a 5.5-inch Full HD screen, a Snapdragon 650 processor, 32 GB of internal storage, 3 GB of RAM, 16 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front camera, a 4050 mAh battery, priced at 12,000 Indian rupees. Moving on to the LeEco LE2, 5.5-inch Full HD screen, Snapdragon 652, 32 GB of internal storage, 3 GB of RAM, 16 megapixel rear camera, 8 megapixel front camera and a 3000 mAh battery. Moving on to Lenovo K6 Note, a 5.5-inch Full HD screen, Snapdragon 430, 32 GB of internal storage, 3 GB of RAM, 16 megapixel rear camera, 8 megapixel front camera and then 4000 mAh battery. And the final, the MoTo G4 Plus, 5.5-inch Full HD screen, a Snapdragon 617, 32 GB of internal storage, 3 GB of RAM, 16 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front camera and then 3000 mAh battery. So moving over to the physical, at the bottom of the phones we can see this is the Xiaomi phone. We have metal and plastic to the bottom. LeEco LE2, metal to the top and plastic to the bottom. Lenovo K6 Note, metal to the top and plastic at the bottom. And MoTo G4 Plus, where there is no metal, it's an entirely plastic body and no ounce of metal. Moving towards the top of the phone, and we have the MoTo G4 Plus with its laser autofocus assist camera, Moto branding, Lenovo as well with dual LED flash, fingerprint sensor at the back, LeEco LE2, fingerprint sensor at the back, the camera and plastic as well for the Lenovo and LE2, and Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, the fingerprint sensor at the back, the camera at the back and a little bit of piece of plastic as well. These plastic parts are for the antennas so that the signal can pass through and we don't have any problem in calling or talking. Moving over to the bottom of the four phones, we have the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 with a micro USB charging port and a primary microphone. Then comes the LeEco LE2, where there are two grills and a USB Type-C port. The only phone to have a USB Type-C port in this comparison. In the two grills, one is speaker and one is microphone. Same with the Lenovo K6 Note, but there is no USB Type-C port, it's a normal micro USB port. And the MoTo G4 Plus has the charging port and a hinge to pop out the back of the phone, as the MoTo G4 Plus has a removable back. To the right of the four phones, we have the volume rockers and the power button. The volume rockers and the power button on the Motorola and Lenovo are plastic, and on the LeEco and Xiaomi are metallic, but the tactile feedback on all the four phones are good. Lenovo K6 Power had bad tactile feedback, but the K6 Note does have similar plastic buttons, but the tactile feedback is much better. To the top of the four phones, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack on the three phones, the secondary noise cancelling microphone on the Lenovo and Xiaomi, the IR blaster on Xiaomi and LeEco, but not on the other two, and the LeEco LE2 is the phone which is missing 3.5mm headphone jack. You have to buy and separate CDLA enabled earphones, which LeEco sells for about 2000 rupees or discounted at 1500 sometimes, but there is a connector supplied inside the box if you want to connect your regular 3.5mm headphone jack. At the left side of the four phones, the three of them have the SIM card trays at the left, but the MoTo G4 Plus has a removable back cover, and as we can see it in front of us, that the LeEco LE2 has a dual SIM card slot, no SD card option. The Lenovo and Xiaomi has an hybrid SIM card slot, so the second slot can be used as an SIM card or an SD card. But the MoTo G4 Plus is the only phone in this comparison to have 3 slots, 2 SIM cards and 1 micro SD card, and all 4 phones have voice over LTE Geo enabled, so no issues in that. So coming to the camera comparison of the 4 phones, we have done an in-depth camera comparison of the 4 phones. Video will be in the descriptions below because the video comparison of the 4 phones together was very difficult, so the camera samples are in front of you. You can definitely check it out. The LE2 and the MoTo G4 Plus are performing very good, and K6 Note is also performing pretty decently, but the Redmi Note 3 is okayish, not really very great, and we already know that. But full in-depth camera comparison, including the front-facing videos and the rear camera videos, are in the description below, and as well as a card at the right top of the video. So the UI of the phones, the Xiaomi has in MIUI 8, now running on Android 6.0.1, EUI for LeEco, and Lenovo has its pure UI, which they have started off with the Lenovo K6 series, and MoTo has stock Android with a couple of additional features, which is right now at Android 7.1. So Motorola is the only phone to have Nougat in this comparison. All the other are on Android Marshmallow. And the UI on the four phones, all four are pretty stable, but the Motorola is one of the best because of the stock Android plus a couple of additional useful features. Then MIUI 8 with its additional dual apps and second space and all that stuff. Then comes the Lenovo with its decent UI, near stock Android now, but also has dual apps and the VR functionality and everything. Then comes the EUI, which hasn't had a lot of updates in the past, so it started off to be pretty good. I actually preferred it over MIUI till MIUI 7 or 8 when 8 was developing, but now as MIUI 8 is very powerful, and the others have also started to go to stock Android, but EUI on the LeEco is still stagnant. It's not getting any updates, any major updates, no new features are coming in, so I'm a little bit disappointed with the UI. But other phones, I can definitely say the UI is pretty good. If you want stock Android phone, Motorola is best. If you want near stock Android but some additional features, Lenovo is doing it good. If you want it very far from stock Android and a lot of features, Xiaomi is doing it good. And if you want to gamble, then LeEco is there. So now when we talk about the battery life of the four phones, we have a lot of differences. Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 with its 4000 mAh battery, 7 hours of screen on time with medium to heavy use. I've told you guys in my previous videos as well. And LeEco LE2 about 4 hours of screen on time because of the 3000 mAh battery. Lenovo K6 Note has a 4000 plus mAh battery and a Snapdragon 430, which is very power efficient compared to Snapdragon 650, so it gets about 7 to 8 hours of screen on time. And MoTo G4 Plus, after the Nougat update, the battery life has actually gone a little bit down the hill. So it used to be 4 hours of screen on time, now I'm only getting 3.5 hours of screen on time. There's a little bit of drop in the battery life. Hopefully there's an update and we have a little bit better performance soon. In the gaming performance of the four phones, the Snapdragon 650 and the 652 perform the best. To be frank, there is no lag or there is no frame drops in the four phones. One is 430, one is 617, one is 652, one is 650. The thing is that the 652 and the 650 are much more powerful compared to other competition. The 430 to be the weakest, but 617 has heating issues, but they have sort of got rid of the heating issues as well with the recent update. So overall, LE2, Redmi Note 3, K6 Note, MoTo G4 Plus are okay in the day-to-day gaming performance or heavy games as well. If you want to use it as a daily phone and normal day-to-day use, all four phones are great, but LE2 and the Note 3 are having the strongest chipset in the lot. And only for MoTo G4 Plus because it has had heating issues, but this time it did not went over 38 degrees. That's a big thing. So in-hand feel of the phones, and you can go through the exact dimensions of the phones. I mentioned it, but we'll talk about the weight. 164 grams for the Redmi Note 3, 153 grams for the LE2, Lenovo K6 Note at 169 grams, heaviest in the lot. MoTo G4 Plus at 155 grams. The thickness, Redmi Note 3 at 8.6 mm, the LE2 at 7.5 mm, the slimmest, and the Lenovo K6 Note at 8.4mm, similar to Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, and MoTo G4 Plus at 9.8mm. So you will be asking, it has only a 3000 mAh battery and still so thick. It is this thick because of the removable back, so they had to make it thick. And overall best in hand feel of the phone goes to LeEco because of the supreme build quality of the metal that they have used. The quality of the metal is amazing. The slimness of the phone at 74.2mm is the slimmest, and at 151.1mm is sort of a little bit longer, but it is sort of best for the in-hand feel of the phone. But it's a 5.5-inch phone. You will have to use it with two hands on a regular basis. So screen to body ratio of the four phones are in front of you. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 at about 73% and LE2 at 74.21%, the highest in the lot. Lenovo K6 Note at 72.7mm, okay enough, and MoTo G4 Plus at about 71%. So that actually proves my point that LE2 has best screen to body ratio, best in hand feel in the four of these. So to conclude this video, I will tell you the pros and cons of all the four phones. So the MoTo G4 Plus Pro is stock Android, some additional features, good camera, definitely one of the best camera. You should definitely check out the separate video that we have made for comparing with the K6 Note. 3 slots, the only phone in this comparison to have 3 slots. Updates come pretty nicely, so it's already running on Android 7.0. Front speaker, so it does not have Dolby Atmos or anything, but these front speakers are pretty good. And good Android development. So MoTo G4 Plus does have a pretty decent Android development. CM 13.1 and a couple of other ROMs are also available, and quick charging out of the box, and a good charger is also supplied inside the box. In the cons point of view, we have Snapdragon 617, a biggest con, plastic body. If I can adjust to that, if you can, then not a problem. And a small battery. The battery life has been pretty poor compared to the other competition. So smaller battery, 3000 mAh, and battery life after the Nougat update hasn't been great. Then comes the Lenovo K6 Note Pro, Dolby Atmos, good battery, 4000 plus mAh battery, decent cameras, yes, and metal build. These are the pros. And see the list of the cons. Snapdragon 430, a chipset that has been used in a phone priced at 7,000-8,000 rupees, the Redmi 3S. A hybrid SIM card slot, price is a big con. At 14,000 rupees, this is an overcharging. No fast charging, no backlit keys. At this price tag, they don't have a backlit keys. Heavy, it is one of the heaviest in the lot. And June security patch, this phone is still running June security patch. The LeEco LE2, a lot of pros. Dolby Atmos plus CDLA, it could be a con as well because of the no 3.5mm headphone jack, but CDLA are pretty decent. Good camera, one of the best in the lot. And for the video, 4K video resolution, only phone with this resolution recording. Best in class metal build, definitely slimmest in the lot. Best in class chipset, Snapdragon 652. The Snapdragon 650 is a little bit of a downgrade, but overall day-to-day performance you won't really feel the difference. Lightest at 153 grams, definitely. Fast charging out of the box, a good charger also supplied. IR blaster. In the cons point of view, dual SIM, no SD card, so if you buy the 32GB model, you are limited to 32GB of storage. You cannot expand it through anything. No 3.5mm headphone jack, that's a big issue for a lot of people, but you do get a connector inside the box. But I definitely do miss the 3.5mm headphone jack. And mostly in the car. No Android development for the LE2, but LeEco recently released the kernel sources, so we may see some very soon. Okay battery with 3000 mAh battery, but optimization is pretty good. 4-hour plus screen on time, but it is okay, only not really very great. And EUI is a big con because it does not get updates very frequently compared to MIUI, where you'll get in the pros point of view for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, you'll get great Android development, Cyanogen's official support, unlimited resources for this phone. MIUI is a pro for a lot of people. Snapdragon 650 is a great chipset, almost equal to 652 in day-to-day performance. You cannot find the difference. Amazing battery with 4000 mAh. Very popular phone, one of the most popular Xiaomi phone ever, and an IR blaster that works with almost all brands in India. Cons point of view, hybrid slot, you will miss out on an slot. It is also a pro compared to LE2. MIUI Android update are very bad. This phone just got the Android Marshmallow update very late. Average camera, Xiaomi's biggest problem yet is the camera performance, and no fast charging. So thank you very much guys for watching this video. This was Sharun here from 24/7 Techie, and comparing 4 phones. You can choose from these 4 phones which one fits best in your budget and in your pros and cons. I've told you everything about the phone, and do hit that like button, do share this video, and please do subscribe to the channel. It's a humble request, and I would really like to see you in my next video. Till then, see ya. Thank you very much guys.